so many.
Yes, John.
Do you have any other red flags that you want to point out?
Yes. Since we're talking about people and trainers specifically in these gyms, I think one of the biggest red flags that I used to hear on the gym floor from other trainers when I worked at a big box gym was over promising and under
delivering.
There you go. And also undermining the actual work that needs to be put in and the investment that you need from a client. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that you're over promising results that you probably know for a fact that somebody cannot give you, but for the sake of getting the bigger sale on the package or having a long-term client by embedding a seed in their brain that you promise that they can do something or they can achieve something if they train with you 3 to 5 times a week at a monthly rate of XYZ.
Every trainer thinks they're God's gift. Like they're thinking like, oh yeah, no, I got all these certifications. They train with me. Don't train with those other bums. Like I got the answers for you.
Yep.
You ain't got the answers.
Nada. But I think it's when you, I think the one that's one of the biggest red flags is when you are promising so much. One example would be a client asking, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds. How long would this take? I think majority of the times trainers who are unexperienced with the behavior of people who have not lost 20 pounds before will say, well, it takes an aggressive way to lose weight is 2 pounds per week. And if you have a calorie deficit of XYZ and you have activity level of XYZ, then you will lose that weight without considering all the other factors in life.
I've heard that. I've heard the 2 pounds per week. I've heard the 1 pound per week. I will say these are very, very unrealistic.
Right.
I
Depends
think
who you talk to.
You put you put your expectations so high, and I think like people buy in. Like we watched cult documentaries on Netflix, right? So we watched like these pastors. We watched this TikTok documentary on Netflix. I highly recommend it.
Oh, that one's a good one.
It's
a TikTok dance.
Is it with that girl? And then on the preview, it's about this dad pressing.
Yes,
I just want to see my daughter.
Yeah,
Yes.
because the guy that's managing this dance group is like this pastor who's like, yeah, you're gonna reach all this fame and money and whatever, and it's no different than a trainer that's gonna promise you to get, I'll get you there in 20 days, I'll get you there in 2 months or whatever. And honestly, like there's no account for the person's lifestyle, limiting factors. Right. That they've been trying so hard for 5 years. All of a sudden, I'm gonna fix it all in 2 months.
Exactly.
No. You have the same trouble that me and Manny have. Is that the problem? The problem with people is honestly people. I feel like
wow, Manny did not say that.
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah. This is like a Braveheart. This is a Braveheart quote. This is like
boy.
The problem with Scotland is that there are too many Scots. No, that it's just sometimes there's a lot of human factors that do get in the way. And realistically, I'll have a conversation with people in this time. If someone is like, I need a weight loss goal, I'm like, all right, cool. Well, set your expectations to a year. If all things play well, you might reach your goals in a year. And that's the honest truth. If you want lies, the next gym from us, Google search what's around. They will lie to you. I'm going to tell you how it is. So, and then hopefully with that, if we're upfront with them, hopefully they could trust us like that. If not, buy your lies somewhere else. Go find another cult leader.
Some people are not always going to want to hear what you say, especially if you give the truth to them right away. But what I love to say with all these questions of how long is it going to take me to lose the weight? When am I going to see muscle definition? When will I be able to run 2 miles without being gassed or looking a specific way? I always say, let's see. And once that happens, then you can have further conversations about what let's see means.
Or it depends.
It depends. That's another one too. And I think I believe that a lot of people would say that this is a cop out. It's an easy out for you to not know what exactly may happen. But in reality, I don't think we really do know what might happen. Somebody, when you first meet them, in your first meeting and your assessments, may be super optimistic, saying like, I will do everything you say. And then you give them the script, and then they say, actually, I'm willing to do half of what you're asking me. So I think it's always, one, you have to always not overpromise things and always try to over deliver with what you have to say, because one, that sets you up for more success later down the line.
I will just say, as a coach, you just have to give everything that you can to the resources that you're given and what they give you as well.
Right.
And I was like, I did my best. You should leave no stone unturned. I did my best. And if they weren't unable to help themselves, it is what it is.
Right.
You can't tuck them in to sleep. You can't spoon feed them. You can't, you take away that can of high noon. You can't take it away from them.
You can tell them do 15 reps, but they'll give you 10.
Exactly. Some people are like, Josh, I think we're done here.
Yep.
I'm like, what? What do you mean we're done here? You don't decide. You don't go to a surgeon like, Doc, that's enough. That's enough. The scalpel stops right there. You don't do that. But for some reason in our industry, people will tell us what I need to do, where you need to stop. And I'm like, get out of here. Who's the expert here?
But what really happens, the session is done. So I think that is also an issue, because when one of my clients says like, oh, I'm that's it for me for today, I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to say, no, you're not. You need to finish these. So at least for me, this is the difference from my training versus your training is, one, we're all adults. If you say you're done, I'm not going to tuck you into bed. I'm not going to pull your arm and make you do 5 more bicep curls. Ultimately, what they're willing to give you is all they're willing to give you.
Hey, look, it's your hour. Like a therapist would say, I guess our time's up.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be a mutual agreement that one, I guess it depends, right? It depends of how invested the trainer is with your health and your fitness. And also depends on how much investment that the client has in their own
Depending
fitness.
on how they respond to it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if they want to give you 20 minutes of hard work and 30 minutes of talking, sorry. That's how the cookie crumbles.
All right. That's your hour.